Hi, our guest today is Gary Becker, owner of Longhorn Oil and Gas. Hi, Gary.
How are you, Kevin?
I am great, thank you. How was your day today?
It was maybe one of those days that you have once in a while, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's over now, so.
Okay, well, we'll get more in depth on that later on then. First question I want to ask you is how long have you had the company?
This is actually our 20th year in business.
My goodness, wow.
Started with one oil well and grew it up a little bit, but yeah, it's actually 20 years in 2021, so
Wow.
just one step at a time, and yeah.
So that's how it goes. When you got into business, were you thinking about the future? Like you just thought, oh, this would be a good thing to do now?
Well, a guy grew up on a farm, and farming when I grew up in the late 80s, 90s wasn't that good, so I liked farming, wanted to farm.
Right.
And there was too many mouths to feed on the farm, so the oil patch always did look attractive because it seemed like where you could, if you worked hard, you'd make some money. So that's sort of how a guy progressively earned his way over into the oil patch.
Nice, that's great.
And a guy went to college, like went to SAIT and took a course in petroleum, and my mom actually got into oil wells. When the farm was in trouble, there was an oil company that went broke in the 80s and sort of walked away from the wells.
Wow.
And they were just stripper wells, but that's what put bread on the table. So a guy sort of veered that way because,
No, you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And your dad's still on the farm?
Yeah.
Busy cattle right now, I believe.
Yeah. My brothers took over the farm. Dad's still half active.
Nice.
But semi-retired, which is nice. But yeah, the farm kept going, and it's good for farming. I think it's turned, and it's good.
So, have any of your other siblings joined you in business?
In business, no. Me and my brother on the farm, Aaron, we talk lots, but he's the farmer, and I'm the oil, and my other siblings are working in Alberta, of course, and other areas of the oil patch. They're both involved. So yeah, it's
good.
just me and my wife and that.
That's okay. So when you were starting out, were you able to fund everything okay on your own, or did you have a backer or a mentor that you could turn to?
When a guy got going, like the first well, obviously, like I did work on the farm lot, so I had some cattle and some land.
Okay.
And I always did that, and then I worked for other companies at first, and there was actually an old guy, Chuck Ogle and Kelly Ogle.
Oh, okay.
They were old oil guys in Colville, and I was working for another company, and they were having trouble, so I was just helping them out for free. And then I don't know, a year into it, I'd come after my full-time job and go help them.
Yep.
And then they were getting out because it still wasn't the way they wanted it, and they actually half financed a guy.
Okay.
Which really helped the guy because to find oil and gas, unlike farmland's hard to. It's oil wells are sort of a liability, which you hear a lot more about in the news now and that. So it's a hard. So that was the big break, and then had to obviously sell everything else to like sell what land I had and what cattle and go all in.
But you don't regret that?
No, it's been good. It's been a good ride.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, zero regrets. No, it turned out.
And like you say, there's some days, like today, unfortunately, you'd rather forget them, I'm sure.
I think the hard days make the good days seem that much. But, you got to have the hard days to really appreciate the good ones. But and when you're on business for yourself, or even when you work for other people,
things happen.
There's lots of, every day ain't going to be rosy.
That is a fact. So how many people work for you?
There's about 25 working for a guy right now.
Wow. So what is the main thrust of your business then? Like,
oil field production.
Production.
Like we're 1,200 barrels a day.
Oh.
But we've also got sort of an integrated approach too, where a guy in reality runs it sort of like a farm, like haul his own oil, have partnerships with service rigs and that. So it's pretty vertically integrated where everything, right or wrong, some days same thing, but it's oil field production is the main thing, selling oil to pay the bills.
And the price is getting better?
Yeah, it's at oil right now is at a very fair price. We're at I'd be happy if it stayed between $55 and $60 a barrel. It's, it doesn't break the consumer's back. The
Right.
dollar, like we sell, all our oil in Canada mostly goes to the States, so the dollar is reasonably priced and everybody can make money at this level.
That's good.
Like the real problem in our industry has been the last 5 years, it's been a pipeline access problem.
Okay.
And
yeah.
we've been discounted heavily, and it's cost the Canadian economy hundreds of billions. Like the stream I've sold oil on,
Yeah.
like everybody heard last year when oil went negative,
Yes.
that stream has actually went negative 3 times in the last
Oh.
5 years, and nobody hears that, but it was the Americans, like,
Wow.
giving free oil, and the oil patch hasn't been since about 2015. It's been in a struggle,
Wow.
and I hope we're crawling out of that. I know some of the problems have been solved with pipeline egress, like Enbridge, where all our line oil is shipped. So yeah.
And the Trans Mountain has been shut down, unfortunately. So
No, Trans Mountain's going.
Keystone, I'm fine.
Keystone, yeah.
I stand.
Trans Mountain's what we want. We want to get our oil to international markets where there's a premium, and it's like if you sold all your goods to one source, and that was competitions.
Yeah, well, that's okay. So when you get up in the morning, what drives you get out of bed and go to work? What's your main force in the morning for yourself?
Solving problems, because the guy seems to have to solve a lot of them. New ones keep coming up, but yeah, no, a guy likes to get up early, and I think the challenge, figuring stuff out. And one thing about tough times, it makes you a little more innovative, and things you didn't think you could do, you
just do.
You do, because you know what you got to live without. So
And you got nothing to really lose by trying something different.
yeah, as long as it doesn't endanger any of your employees. But yeah,
Sure.
there's a lot of things that even this last year when it was real terrible, like there's some stuff a guy learned that coming out of it, now a guy's going to be actually more resilient. And I don't know why you didn't try them before, but it was.
Well, necessity, they say, is the mother of invention, so there you go.
Yeah.
You didn't need to try it, so
Yeah, until you're pushed on a lot of things.
that's true. A lot of us don't like change.
Yeah, change is.
The only people that like change are babies, and that's the way it goes. You said you have about 20, 25 people working for you. Do you see yourself as a leader for them?
I think a guy, obviously, if you're running the company, you got to lead, and some days they don't like how you lead. Everybody has their opinion, but yeah, a guy's obviously the leader there. I got some other 2 main or 3 guys. You always have to have some heavyweight other guys under you that help carry the weight, but
Oh, absolutely.
the reality is the Bucks,
Buck stop
the
you.
call when there's an issue at 2 a.m, you're getting the call if it's a real not good one, and but
It does happen. So these 2 or 3 other guys you have, your lieutenants, I guess you might say, do you think one of them might want to take over the company one day when you want to retire?
Yeah, I don't know if they'd want the headache. We'll see what happens in the oil patch, but they're all like, a lot of them too, like they're farmers and they got their own thing, and they've actually, some of them have bought their own wells too, so I don't know what they want to do. I don't know if they'd want the headache, but
Well, you're probably a little bit of ways yet from retiring. It's just something I thought I'd ask.
yeah, I hope some days you want to retire, but
That's true.
I think I got a
good hold on it for now.
Yeah, I think I better. My wife probably won't. I don't know what would happen if I got retired.
Well, you got to have something to fill in the time. That's a fact.
Yeah, idle time, devil's hands, or what?
That's true. What would you consider your strengths and weaknesses in business?
I think my strength would obviously be a guy who can get up, work hard, grind. Some of my weaknesses, I am stubborn and sometimes not open to accept change as much as a guy should, and that's
Right.
I think a guy learned that on the farm. Like farmers can be stubborn, but they can also gotta get up early and work. So that's a weakness. Like it's good to listen to people and change. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not always adaptable. At least not all the time.
Yeah.
True enough. When you were starting out, and even now, do you have any business goals, things you want to accomplish with the company?
I know when a guy first started out, basically a guy wanted to buy a newer house and have a reasonable standard of living.
Yep.
Really hasn't changed. Want to, make sure now that I got kids, make sure they learn how to work like I did on the farm, and
Yep.
I think it's more and work hard, enjoy his life, enjoy the community he lives in. I really like living in Kindersley in Saskatchewan. It's
an awesome place.
it's nice to see things going Saskatchewan's way, it feels like when I graduated, it was turn off the lights and move to Alberta, and there was very little jobs here, and now I'm seeing even the younger people, they're going to maybe get school in U of S, or there is actually opportunity. There's as much opportunity in Saskatchewan as there is in Alberta right now, for sure.
Good. And we have a lot of quality people here, so
Oh,
you can't go wrong with that.
our biggest loss in Saskatchewan when you go was the mass exodus of people, and it just was, that's the biggest joke in Calgary. Like downtown, it's all ex-SAS people, that lot of you, and
Yep.
all that talent. Like why weren't some of those head offices in Regina and Saskatoon, or even like you can have them in Kindersley? And
Sure you can.
I think one thing COVID's proven, without a doubt, is you can work remotely.
Yes.
Living in these small towns it's been good the last year. It hasn't been perfect, but way better than living in a high-rise apartment.
Yeah, when your view is another high-rise apartment. I know you're also a bit of I'm guessing when I say volunteer, because you work with the town council here in Kindersley. How has that been for you, being on a town council?
I think it's been really good working with a group of guys that when you got to work as a team, or you get the different opinions, whereas when you're a sole proprietor. No, I've really enjoyed it, liked how the town's being run, like the group of guys with, and it's been good. Really happy.
I've heard a lot of good things with the current council, so I'm not trying to butter you up, honest. But that's
Talk to the mayor.
We have, and we do. So if you were to advise anybody today, whether they're youngsters or whether wanting to get into business, what would you tell them?
I think the first thing you should tell them is do what you love. Like, I laugh when you go to grads and everybody wants to be a doctor and say a lawyer even, and like I was talking to a corporate lawyer today, and I mean, a corporate lawyer is not a real, you see their lifestyle and they work big hours. Yeah, they make okay money, but if you like doing what you want to do, like say your daughter wants to be a hairdresser and she's good at it and she loves it and she works hard, you can do just as well. Maybe you'll own a few beauty salons, or even if you don't, at least if you love doing what you do every day, or it makes getting out of bed way easier and you're probably going to be happier. And
It doesn't even seem like work if you're going to something you like to do.
well, you're doing it, like, what do you do most of your life?
Yeah,
Work.
Yeah.
And so I just can't imagine doing something a guy, and my old man always did tell me that, do what you love, and I'm glad he did, because I would not, it just,
Makes sense. And I told my boys the same thing, gave them the same advice. Don't, whatever you do, don't do it because I told you. Do it because you want to do it.
Yeah, what's your dream, right? Or what do you love? Like, I mean,
Exactly.
and I think whatever you want to do, if you like it, and you got it, and they don't preach that enough in school. It's, not everybody is going to university. There's a lot of talented tradespeople that they, and
Yeah, and a lot of kids, I know they want to be not in using their hands as much in the trades, which is too bad, because there are a lot of openings there too.
oh yeah, that's,
really.
I see I was talking to a guy the other day, and it was related to computers, and he had a guy doing programming out of Bangladesh for $2 an hour, and a lot of that stuff you can export. I don't know much of, I'm very computer illiterate, so but trades, there's probably always a need, and some of that stuff will get exported. So if you're
If you're any good at, what you're saying, I think, is if you're any good at anything, you'll make it work and you'll be successful, you'll be happy.
Well, do what you want. Like, if you're good with your hands and you want to, you know, if you're good with your mind,
Yep.
be a lawyer or what, but yeah.
Even if you're a ditch digger, it doesn't matter. Do it because you want
I
to.
agree. If you love digging ditches and
Go for
you
it.
know, you can have 100 track hoes or 10 and you'll make again, you know.
Do you, one last question for you too, and I presume you consider yourself a success. Would that be right?
I don't know, some days not.
And I say because we all have our own definition of success.
Yeah, my definition of success probably doesn't all include monetary. Like, I do sort of like looking at the full picture, and I got a good marriage and good family, so that definitely makes me feel successful.
Yep.
And business has been pretty good, so that, but yeah.
Successful as well.
So it's, yeah, some days after last year you don't feel that successful.
Well, last year was
negative oil and you're wondering what you're doing, but yeah, no, it's been a pretty good ride.
Good. Well, the world is a crazier place than it was a year ago, so.
I think we're near the end.
I'd like to think so, but I don't know. I'm not an expert on that, but hey, I just do interviews. I don't run the world. Gary, it's been a pleasure tonight, and I appreciate you taking the time out
Thanks,
to help us
Kevin.
out with this project.
Appreciate what you guys in the chamber are doing, and
Thank you.
let's keep pumping the area, and
We'll get our town built up again.
Good.
Bigger and better.
yep.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
You bet.